All right, it's C The Barber, and we're doing something different today. We're not just sitting down and interviewing people, like we in the action. So, who am I here with today? Introduce yourself, friend.
Hey, what's up? I'm Nino.
Bing, 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 brr, 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 brr. So, tell them one of the things that you got going on for yourself right now. Like, what are you doing with the community right now?
So I like to highlight TransMascOrlando.
Hey, shout out Transmask
Hey,
Orlando.
and that's how I found See the Barber actually. Like they found the account through the
Mm-hmm.
hashtags I was using and just
Yes.
sharing. And I saw that we have a trans mask barber, trans identifying barber. And like when I go to the barber shop and when I was pre-T, it was pretty intimidating being around like a lot of cis men.
Mm-hmm.
I did find a barber who kind of like shut that out, but it was still like, what they talk about, and like being someone who's AFAB, which is a assigned female at birth. Being someone who identifies as AFAB, it was still pretty cringy to hear like, the toxic masculinity talk in a barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
So like finding See the Barber, like it's my second time getting cut by him. It's been so awesome and affirming. I don't have to worry about the locker room talk. Like we talk
Yeah.
about what we want to talk about and the community itself. But Transmaster Orlando, I found this account on Instagram and it popped up. It was called Transmas Seattle.
Ooh,
And
okay.
yep, and I knew like, cause I identify as non-binary, like a soul has no gender the way I see, it, and I'm just a soul and a body and a human vessel, at this moment in time.
Literally, I agree.
Yes, and I just prefer to present more mass. So I found that I was with non-binary, and I felt close to that term, but
Mm-hmm.
when I read trans mass, I was like, what's that?
Ooh, what's that?
So, I did what I do and I went on Google and then I just started to like look up this term and like, cause I didn't always identify with the term trans man
Mm,
cause I don't want to be a man and I don't identify with a woman. Like I really am just
you.
me, yes. And then I saw that trans can just mean different than sex assigned, gender assigned at birth.
Mm-hmm.
Like just expression. I just prefer to express mass.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can be on HRT and still be non-binary and trans mass. I thought you had to be like trans man to do that, and it just helped me understand myself more. And then I reached out to the group, and I was like, "Yo," like, and this was last year, especially when the governor was cracking hard on like
Medical, people
yes,
being trans, being able to keep your
yes.
medication, doctors not being able to, like, what, even give it to you.
Yes, nurse practitioner laws and stuff. So I really needed community because I hadn't started T yet, and
Oh, this was before your
yep,
transition.
yep, pre T,
Wow.
and like I didn't find community. I wasn't finding community and support in blood, and I
Yeah,
know that family doesn't always have to mean blood.
exactly.
It's biological, but you can find family in people that you meet, like
Mm-hmm.
your soul siblings. There's a
Exactly.
reason why you're drawn to certain people, and everything is connected. Is all I'll say. But I
That's
reached
right.
out to them, and the the person who founded it,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "Yo, I can meet with you on Zoom and teach you about mutual aid and community and how I kind of got this going."
Wow.
And he met me on Zoom one day, and I was so excited, and it was super amazing because they said that being in Seattle and the West Coast is like a lot different because a lot of people are fleeing the South, and they
Really?
have like telling me that they had a couple members who just came from Florida, who just came from Texas, and like they were really just at peace there. But in Florida, that would kind of look different. And he told me that he admired us because we're like the youth and we're younger, and their crowd was more older people who have
Mm.
gotten to, be on their journey and not have to worry about legislation or familial support and that
Mm-hmm.
type of aspect. So like he really put me on, and I didn't know much about mutual aid and how we can all help each other. Like
No, for
with what you
real.
were telling me, see with the barber thing and
Mm-hmm.
how you can cut. Well, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but
But how I could what?
like how you cut hair and
Yeah,
that's mutual because you're helping out the community and they're helping
exactly.
you out in a certain way
Yeah,
too with a safe space.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super important. That's really like the whole point of all of this at the end of the day,
Hmm.
right? So even different parts of the country, like it's still so different. So
Hmm.
for trans folks, like you living in California, is like I met someone on TikTok that had a transportation vehicle for trans top surgery from the hospital to
Oh
the crib,
wow.
and it set it on the mobile, like on the
Wow.
van, and like that's specialized for that. And I was like, I wish they had that shit in Florida.
Wow.
I had to drive my ass 4 hours in Miami.
Wow, on your own too.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, no, not on my own. I have my mom there for
Okay,
sure.
that's
Thank
awesome.
God.
That's
But
awesome.
like, imagine, like, I mean,
Yeah.
there are people that don't have, you know,
Mhm.
the support like that. But that's when these kind of communities come into play
Yep.
and support. Because I had people reaching out to me on TikTok, asking me about where my surgeon was, asking me, "Hey, you still take tea? My doctor isn't able to give me tea anymore. A different type of doctor now legally is able to, but I don't have that doctor yet. Do you know where I can get that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I got you."
And it's been so awesome because C's extended that to the trans mass community. Like, because boom, I started it. I was so nervous, but I just, I started meeting trans masculine people, whether I was going to like the local LGBTQ plus scene here in Orlando, or like using dating apps, but not intentionally for dating, but just for meeting people. 'Cause
Yes,
it's very
literally, I
hard.
did that too. I did that too, and I made some friends. Like, I got some good friends. Even my tailor, I got her on Tinder.
Hey, put me on. Yo, put me on. Even my hair, someone who like braids my hair, like met her on Tinder. Like, just that's how you find people these days, and you may not even be looking to date. But with the community, like, there's a LinkedIn with resources like that everyone shared. Like, I got C's LinkedIn, C's link in there with the book C for barbering, and I got resources for what she was talking about, gender affirming care, like a whole list where you can choose from. And there's even the Southern Legal Council for legal services, the legal services that help you with gender affirming name changes and getting your marker changed. But in Florida, like, if they could target this on a national level, on a Congress level, then individual states wouldn't be able to make their own legislation like our governor has. That's why it's so different. Like I see was talking about in other parts of the country, like with the affirming care, like it could be a lot different if we could agree at a whole level and target it. Because if I go up north, like I could change my gender marker to non-binary.
Easy.
I'd never even heard of that. I found an article and I shared it with we have a Telegram private. So like, it's again a safe space where like our brothers and non-binary siblings can talk about, hey, I went on T. Hey, I don't know how to do my shot. And somebody might FaceTime them and be like, hey, this is how I do my shot.
Literally, like we need that because that's literally what all I do on TikTok is do that with people all day. It's like it's I understand why there's not a lot of trans people in the beauty industry or even in the barber community because guys have that machismo thing and people care too much about what their clients think. If my clients all don't like me being trans, well look, I ain't got no clients no more. But then it gets to a point where you don't let certain things affect that. The only reason why some of my new clients, some of them don't even know. It only comes up if it needs to come up. Most of my clients, because they've been rocking me for a while, they knew. But I only had to tell them because I had to get my surgery and I was going to be out of town. That is literally it.
I got a question for you, C.
Yeah.
You were saying, like, at a certain point, you got to, like, kind of let the negative machismo around you, like, go. How'd you, like, get through that? Because
that's a really
I find
good
that
question.
in other aspects, even not in barbering, like that before pre-T, it was like, oh, once you heard my voice, they like, chilled out. Like they were like, oh, you're a girl.
So it gets to a certain point that it's like
now, like my voice deep, and I can pass, like because in society they only see two genders, and even though I identify as non-binary, they only see me as male or female. So to other people in the societal world, I'll pass as male, but it's like when you walk around a group of dudes, it's like, who got the biggest dick? Like you really feel that toxic masculinity.
You feel that,
cringe.
right? Because you're on T?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you're on T, you get to that point where you really start blending in with society, right? What society is supposed to have you think you're supposed to look like, whatever. Because you could be trans and be on T and still be very feminine. Like, it's all about what you prefer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, expression. So, like, yeah, you start seeing, like, okay, well, now they know that you're I'm not identifying as, like, a cis, female, that, like, it's something else that they can just say whatever they want. So, like, how I get around it is kind of just, like, putting just boundaries up, I guess you would say, because it was kind of weird. I had, like, a barber showcase, right, that I hosted, and then I invited a few people. I met a few barbers through that. You know what I'm saying? And then like I already have a beard, bro. I'm about to get my top surgery, and I see a homie out in public. I'm like, yo, what's good, homie? He's like, what's up, girl? And I'm like, I have a beard,
cringe.
and I'm over here like not trying to be awkward because we're in front of a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I literally like look behind me like girl, who? Like you just
So
make shit
cringe.
mad awkward and mad cringe, all because what I got titties still. Like that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is still the same.
Could have
Like,
thought before you spoke.
Yeah, but he's older. He's like I think in his 30s or his 40s. I don't know, but like some people they just rather make you have you sit and feel that uncomfort than them feel that uncomfort.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like I don't really say much, but the next time I see them, I lay that bro down heavy. You feel what's good, bro?
Yep.
You ain't gonna be like, yo, what good, mom? No.
Yes, sir.
I'm not giving my energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know.